The Nigerian Institute of Building has condemned the exploitative practices of landlords and caretakers in Ogun State, accusing them of making life increasingly difficult for residents, especially the poor, through arbitrary rent hikes. Speaking after delivering his keynote lecture at the Gateway Builders Conference of the Ogun State chapter of Niob, held at the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, Ogun State, Professor Olaposepo Ishola Fagbinde of the Department of Building, Covenant University, described the continuous increase in rent as unfair and detrimental to the welfare of the people. The theme of the conference was Traversing the Landscape of 21st Century Construction, the Builders' Input. Professor Fagbinde lamented that the persistent annual increase in rent has rendered many poor people homeless, forcing some into criminal activities as means of survival.
For example, in Ogun State now, they have been copying Lagos State for two-bedroom flat, going for as high as 4 million naira, 5 million naira, per annum. The question is, the people you are calling to take this, how much is their salary per annum? So it makes things difficult for people. So, and the only way we can do it is to make supply more. So if supply surpasses demands, we have less pressure on people.
In his remarks, the chairman of the occasion, Engineer Niob, a former Ogun State Commissioner for Environment and former APC Secretary, encouraged youth to explore careers in building and construction as a legitimate and rewarding path to success. He advised them to leverage advancement in artificial intelligence, AI, and robotics for innovation rather than using technology to promote crime and immorality.
These days, you realize that everything is changing, everything is dynamic, and the building sector is not left out of that. It's a wonderful opportunity for the youth to develop their career in robotics and in artificial intelligence. That is why the whole world is going now, and the building sector is not left behind.
Delivering in the address, the National President of Nigeria Institute of Building, Builder Daniel Abimbola Kolade, represented by the newly appointed Lagos State Chairman Builder Wolabi, commended the Ogun State government for its rapid infrastructural and industrial development. However, he urged the state to ensure that only competent and certified builders are engaged in construction projects to prevent building collapses and ensure quality delivery.
However, as the demand for housing and infrastructure continues to grow, the need, competence, ethical, and well-trained builders become even more critical. We must ensure that every structure in Ogun State, from industrial park to residential estate, bear the marks of professional oversight and builders' integrity.
In his own address, the Ogun State Chairman of Niob, Builder Adebayo Dauda Adesina, affirmed that builders in the state, both in academia and the field, are already embracing technological innovation to tackle housing deficits. While commending the government for its accelerated housing projects, he noted that the majority of the units are still beyond the reach of the poor due to the high cost by rising prices of building materials. Adesina called on waiting Nigerians to use their resources to support efforts aimed at solving the nation's housing deficit.
One of the reasons why people evade normal setup is that when you look at land acquisition, for example, there are some regulations that make it very, very difficult. The cost of approval, the cost of acquiring land, and the rest of things like that always scare people. So it would be better if we are encouraging people to adopt the normal method. We should also be able to look at this thing. Why is it not affordable with people? So many people are running away from it because they couldn't afford it. But if the government can strategize, we are not saying we should compromise standard. But if we can strategize on probably maybe part payment, maybe like something like that, I think it will be easier for people to patronize the method that the government has strategized.
The conference was chaired by the important personalities. Among them is Oba Dr. Kehinde Olugbinde, represented by the Oloja of Odan, Bob Arimakinde, the Oniwoye of Iwoye, state chairmen, members, and well-wishers.